Hey guys, it's Slippy here. So Conor McGregor has come out on his Twitter or his Instagram or whatever, and he has said that he is going to fight on June 29th, International Fight Week, against Micheal Chandler. So I guess it's pretty much official. We're going to get Conor McGregor versus Micheal Chandler. Not at UFC 300 like some of us thought. At UFC 300, it sounds like we're going to get Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. I'm just going to talk about both these fights. Two really big fights, especially McGregor versus Chandler. I'm going to give some predictions, and we're just going to talk about the news, I guess, because it is pretty exciting news. We all sort of saw it coming. We all knew that he was probably going to fight Chandler. If he wasn't going to fight Chandler, there wasn't really anybody else there for him. They did Ultimate Fighter together. So, yeah, we all saw it coming. It was just kind of a waiting game because Conor's been weird about it the last few months. But it sounds like it's happening, and he says it's happening at 185, which I kind of doubt. But maybe it is. If it is, I think that actually favors Chandler. I think that's a bad decision on McGregor's part. I think Chandler, being a naturally bigger guy than Conor when they're not on the juice, assuming that they're not going to be on the juice. Chandler's bigger. He has more power. He has the better wrestling by a lot. And all that stuff, I think, favors a bigger opponent. And then also, Chandler not having to cut weight probably helps his gas tank, if we're being honest. Usually not cutting weight helps guys have a better gas tank. So yeah, let's just talk about the fight, I guess, and talk about the news. I think my prediction for this fight is Micheal Chandler. I think Micheal Chandler has every tool he needs to win the fight without too much trouble, to be honest, especially the way Conor's looked recently and with Conor coming off of an injury. The one problem with predicting this fight and predicting really any Micheal Chandler fight is that he fights so stupid all the time that he could go out there, guns blazing, throwing these big overhands, swinging for the fences, missing, and get countered by Conor. Conor is a very good, hiccups. Conor is a very good counter striker. We all know that. That's what he's known for. That legendary left hand. And Chandler is a really tough guy, but he doesn't have the best chin. That's well known at this point too. He seems to get hurt at some point in every single one of his fights. I don't want to say he has a terrible chin though, because the shots that hurt him are usually big shots that would hurt anybody. And his recovery, or at the very least his grit and his toughness, is very, very good. He's tougher than most guys. He will try to fight through it, which is a big advantage over someone like McGregor, because I think at this point in McGregor's career, one of his biggest weaknesses is that he won't fight through it. He doesn't have the grit that he used to. He seems to wilt. Whenever Conor gets put in bad positions or the fight just isn't going his way, you can see it on his face. He just kind of wants out of there. And against a guy like Chandler, who, say what you want about Chandler, say you want about, if he deserves his ranking spot or if he's as good as some people say he is. Chandler is a guy that will make the fight crazy. He'll make sure that you're in pain while he's in pain. He fights fire with fire. He's that kind of guy. He'll walk through the fire. He's a tough dude. And you can't come out of a Micheal Chandler fight without taking some damage and having to get through some serious adversity. And I just don't trust Conor to do that, which is why I'm going to go with Chandler. On top of that, in the striking department, Conor is definitely the better striker, more dynamic. When Chandler chooses to strike smart, he's actually pretty good, though. If you remember when he fought Justin Gaethje in the third round, half that round was Chandler just walking into punches, which was really stupid of him. That's Micheal Chandler. What do you expect? But when he chose to just fight smart, and when he was just chucking the jab out there, he was landing the jab on Gaethje, he's landing the 1-2 on Gaethje. He lands good shots when he chooses to strike smart. I think he has the ability to do that with Conor. But obviously his real path to victory in this fight is through the wrestling. He's a very good wrestler. He was able to dominate Poirier for 2 out of the 3 rounds until he got finished with his grappling. He packs crazy power, as we know. He has the ability to flatline McGregor. He has the ability to flatline anybody if he wants. If he lands the right shot, throws crazy stuff. He's pretty unpredictable on the feet, I would say. Just because you don't know if he's going to go for that crazy overhand. You don't know if he's going to go for the jab. You don't know if he's going to shoot the huge takedown. He's maybe not super unpredictable, but he's wild enough that it's hard to tell exactly what he's going to do next. He just fights so crazy. But yeah, I think if he chooses to wrestle in this fight and go for the takedown, he should be able to win the fight pretty handily. I don't see Conor having much for him on the ground. It's just whether or not he's going to fight smart or fight stupid, I think. Because if he just fights kind of smart, even a little bit smart, he should be able to win this fight without too much trouble at this point in Conor's career. Now, Conor's path to victory, which there's a very good chance that Conor could win this fight, is basically just chinning Chandler. He has no other way to win. I don't see Conor winning a decision in this fight. I'm sure it'll be a 5-round fight. Conor's gas tank is probably worse than Chandler's. Chandler gasses out, but he gasses out going crazy for the first couple rounds, and he still can fight on. If you go back to his Bellator career, the dude can go through a crazy 5-round war, and he can come out on top. He's done it before. Conor gasses out at like a medium-paced fight. It doesn't have to be a crazy pace, and he'll still gas out. Conor's always been a guy who gets tired because he basically throws all his power that he can into his shots when he throws them. And he really gasses out if you grapple with him. And Chandler is a guy, because he wrestled for so long, his wrestling cardio is probably better than his striking cardio. That guy can go a long time if he's just wrestling. He's going to have a big physicality advantage. He's going to be stronger than McGregor. He's going to hit harder than McGregor. He's got the wrestling advantage. He's got the jiu-jitsu advantage. He could submit McGregor. Chandler does have some good rear naked chokes. He's pretty good at getting top pressure and beating people up on the ground. He has good ground and pound. His only chance is chinning him, which could happen because Chandler goes crazy. Conor could land that left hand down the pipe as Chandler comes in. You know, Chandler's been dropped by Tony Ferguson. He's been dropped by Justin Gaethje. He got dropped by Poirier. He was able to recover in all those situations. Totally fine. He was okay. He was definitely hurt, but he has good recovery. Conor, I don't think Conor has the best recovery. When he got hurt by Dustin in their second fight, he got hurt against the cage, and then he kind of just shelled up and tried to slip punches and couldn't do it because Conor just barraged on him, and I think Chandler would do a very similar thing if he hurt McGregor. Except when Chandler hurts McGregor, I don't think McGregor will even have the chance to recover. Because when Dustin hurt him, Dustin's not known for like one punch knockout power. Chandler is. If Chandler lands clean, it's not going to be a TKO. I think it'll just be a flush knockout. So I'm going to go with Michael Chandler. I hope he fights smart. I hope he gets the win. He's a really fun fighter to watch. I don't think he'll ever be a champion. But between having Conor in the division and Chandler in the division, I would rather have Chandler stick around. I think his fights are more fun. Even when he loses, you can trust him to always go out there and put entertainment above winning, which is stupid for him. It's stupid if he wants to be a champion, but it's really great for the fans because it always makes for a fun fight and you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm going Michael Chandler. Super excited about the fight. Happy to see Conor McGregor's finally come back. Happy to see he's actually going to fight Chandler and he's not going to step down and fight like Tony Ferguson or something stupid like that. It should be a great fight. UFC 300, we're going to get Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. I don't have much to say about this fight. It's hard to get super excited about a Belal Muhammad fight, and honestly, it's kind of hard to get excited about a Leon Edwards fight because his fights aren't generally that exciting. I know he has a lot more fans now that he's champion, and he's knocked out Usman and he beat Colby after Colby talked all that trash. But that was a pretty lame fight from both guys. Regardless of whether or not it was dominant from Leon Edwards, it was dominant because Colby didn't do hardly anything. It wasn't dominant because Leon did a lot. He just did a little bit more every round, and he was in control. Against Belal Muhammad, I think Leon Edwards should be able to handle Belal pretty easily. He has such good takedown defense. I think he could stuff all, if not most of, if not all, of Belal Muhammad's takedowns. And in the striking department, it's not close. Leon Edwards is a elite level, world class striker. There's not really many people in the division that I would pick to outstrike Leon Edwards. He's just really good at point striking and doing a little more than you. He has this habit of fighting to the level of his competition. Some guys go out there hoping to dominate their competition, get the finish, make them look easy. Leon Edwards is very content just doing enough to beat you every single round, or at least enough of the rounds to win the fight, and I think that's what he'll do against Belal. I think he will stuff the takedowns, and then on the feet, Belal has some decent boxing, but it's nothing special. He has a couple of good body kicks. Again, nothing special. He's not that fast. He doesn't have much power, even though he was able to finish Sean Brady. But that was more just Sean Brady freezing up and letting Belal have the win rather than Belal's immense skill. Belal's real specialty and where he's really good is in the grappling. But as I've said, Leon Edwards' takedown defense is really, really good. He was able to stuff so many of Usman's takedowns in their trilogy. He was able to stuff almost all of Colby's takedowns until the last round of their fight and won in the 4th round. I don't really see a way for Belal to win unless Leon gets tired and Belal was able to get him down later in the fight and finish him, because I think Belal will definitely lose the first few rounds of this fight. He might be able to steal the 4th and 5th, or at least the 5th like Colby did, because Leon doesn't have the best gas tank. He fights at a pretty slow pace and tends to be tired by the end of the fight. But I'm going to pick Leon Edwards to win like a 49-46, very comfortable, very clear decision over Belal Muhammad in a pretty boring fight. I don't think it'll be exciting. Hopefully it's not a main event. I don't know what the main event of UFC 300 is going to be. I doubt it'll be Leon versus Belal. I assume they're going to find a bigger name fight to put in the main event. Maybe an Alex Pereira fight in the main event. Maybe a lightweight title fight. It could be. I'm not sure about that, though. I don't know who Islam would fight. But yeah, a couple of big fights that have been announced. Really excited about the Conor fight. Excited to see, I guess, what happens with Leon versus Belal, mostly because I want to see who's going to fight Shavkat. Shavkat will definitely get the next shot, unless Islam decides to move up and they give it to him. I think Shavkat will fight the winner of Leon and Belal. And Chandler versus McGregor, I bet the winner of that probably... If it's Conor, I wouldn't be surprised if they do another fight with Poirier, because Poirier is not interested in taking fights that aren't big names. And if it's Chandler, I think they'll give him just someone up the rankings, not necessarily a big name. He could get like a Fiziev or maybe an Arman Tsarukyan or a Beneil Dariush, maybe, if he beats McGregor. I'm not sure who else would be there for him to fight. Maybe Mateusz Gamrot. I would bet probably Rafael Fiziev, unless Chandler is also not interested in taking fights that aren't huge names, which might be the case. I really hate that fighters do that, especially at lightweight. These guys at the top only want to fight other guys at the top. No matter how many times they lose, they don't want to fight down the rankings. It's stupid. It's really unfair to the guys lower down the rankings. These guys at the top need to remember what it was like to work their way up and give some of these lower ranked guys a chance. I'll give Gaethje credit because he did fight Fiziev. But Poirier, he doesn't want to fight guys lower ranked. Oliveira does a bit. He fought Dariush, but Dariush was top 5. So, but yeah, no, big fights. Let me know what you guys think about these fights in the comments. Let me know who you think is going to win both of them. Let me know who you think will main event UFC 300 if you have any predictions for that. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button. If you could subscribe, that would be cool. Thank you for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.